What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, I want to give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Lucid is having a absolutely crazy day, up 17.49%, 258 the low, $3.10 the high, 107.7 million shares being traded so far, and then 88 is the average. So a lot of big money getting back into Lucid. But even all these transactions, which are over $100,000 on the secondary market, that doesn't make up the majority of the volume. This is where AI, so algorithmic trading, is really making up for all of that. So AI is really propelling Lucid, and that's when, like, one thing that I did state, if it was to get above that super trend indicator, then that is where you'll see a huge bump up. And even aside from that, Lucid's own technicals, it above that 50-day moving average does historically result in it going up roughly around, on average, 40%. So a lot of good things happening for Lucid. I want to go over some of the macro data. So we did have, starting off, PCE. So I said in my video yesterday, if PCE was going to come in hotter than anticipated, then regrettably you're going to see a sell-off similar to what happened on Wednesday. But luckily enough, it came in better than anticipated. So the market kind of was more relieved rather than anything. So that was definitely a good thing. And then over and above that, you also did have a Fed speaker, 𝗪𝗧𝗪, did state that there's going to be clearly more than 2 rate cuts, what was previously announced on Wednesday in 2025. So of course, both things are absolutely epic, giving the broader market a very nice relief rally. So all in all, that's very good. And in Lucid's case, no actual news associated to them, official news, no SEC filings. I think one thing that is really getting a lot of buyers is this. So this 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗛𝗧 individual, clearly we've seen with Fisker, has the power to really move a stock. Whether he means it or not, I'm not here, whatever. I'm sure there's arguments that could be said on either way, but he did state that Lucid was named, or the Air Sapphire, named EV of the Year and 2024 MVP. So very good stuff. That is pretty much probably better marketing than Lucid has ever done. Because like I've said in the past, if he gives a bad rating, like, your stock is pretty much gone, it's dead. But he absolutely loves Lucid, so I think that's giving it a nice push higher. So you have a couple of different attributing factors. You have pretty much just the technicals, just macro events, and plus shorts. Shorts are finally admitting defeat. A lot of people are saying that this is a short squeeze. Not really, only 444,000 shares net. So they're not really doing all that much. 22.4% of the free float is being shorted. It works out to be 266.85 million shares. I don't know why, this is just my mentality of how I always think. If I was Lucid, you're pretty much having shorts on their heels right now. They're getting blown back. They're holding on, but they're getting blown back. One thing that they can do is just say, hey, we have more than enough demand with the Gravity, and like, up until, like, to fulfill demand or production up until, like, let's say end of Q1. If they were just to say something along those lines, because they're not really giving false information, they're just stating orders are higher than what they anticipated, that will cause a squeeze, right? Because as I've stated, you need 4 things for a squeeze: high utilization, a lot of shares being shorted, high cost to borrow. But one thing Lucid has typically lacked is a surprise catalyst. So if they come out in that regard, then yeah, you could really screw shorts over a lot. But generally, just over the last 1 month, just looking over here, shorts have lost a good about 19.75%. So definitely moving in the right direction. So roughly around 200 million. So pretty positive in that regard. Moving over to this right here, 3.5 million for calls, 646,000 in puts, 47% of all the options being done are optimistic in nature. So you have, once again, a resurgence of optimism, and now you're starting to see for it to be above 350 for the foreseeable future, at least for the next couple of weeks. So pretty good in that regard. So a lot of people anticipate a continued run, and as of right now, this is what the bears are anticipating. Even the bears are anticipating for it to be sub $3. So honestly, they're not even that's not even bearish whatsoever, given we're at 310. So that's kind of crazy. With today being Friday, just take note of some of the strong support and resistance points. I know we still have roughly 2 hours left in the trading day, but with it at 309, if it is able to close above $3, this is where you could see a potential gamma squeeze going into next week. So gamma squeeze is in relation to options. Right now, there is 8,000 at that $2 strike price, 15,000 at that 250, and then 34,000 at that 3. So those are all the kind of in the money, or I guess open interest. But if it's able to close above that $3 range, then that does mean that there's going to be roughly around 5 million shares that does need to be covered by market makers. They don't have Lucid shares readily available. They'll have to go to the open market to buy it. So that could, again, cause a nice push higher. And then if it's able to close above 350, you have 8,000 and then 33,000 at that 4. I don't see 4 being touched, at least for the foreseeable future, until either a catalyst comes out. But yeah, there's a hell of a lot of optimism right now with it at 309. It is trading between these 2 points, so this R3 and this R2. 265 will be a strong support. I don't see that being touched whatsoever. I think right now with it above all the key pivotal moving averages, it's hell-bent on pretty much 350 in my opinion, but $3.13 is going to be that next strong resistance / target, which hasn't broken it today, at least at the time of doing this video. But on the actual chart itself, so today it was able to just bypass and jump above everything, so above that 100 and 200 day moving average. So Lucid's technicals look a-okay. As I said, anytime it's historically broken above that 50-day moving average, it does go up roughly on average 40%. I think the highest was like 70%, something like that. So there could be a lot more room for Lucid to go up higher. A lot of good demand has been coming out. So latest in EV stats, we'll give you a quick overview of that. So latest EV stats does show sales in China are up 57%. Making the share 53%. Europe is up 2%, so not necessarily the best. And there's been a lot of just crappy data coming out from Europe on and off over the last 6 months, but the States has been solid. So States is up 16% year over year. So there's a lot of good demand out there. So Lucid could potentially take advantage of that with 2 potential rate cuts, or at least more than that based on what Goolsbee is saying. Then that's going to really add a good level of foundation and move a lot of growth stocks higher. So things are turning pretty a-okay for Lucid. So let me know your thoughts. Have you been buying? Are you selling? What are you doing with Lucid? And options activity, have you started to dabble with that? For those, like if it was at like say $2.20, if you were optimistic and did a $3 call for today, you would be up massively. You would be up a good like 10x right now. So that's the benefit of doing options. As I've stated, take the time to research that. I was planning on doing a quick tutorial for today's video, but I don't really have all that much time, regrettably, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. So just basic call options, both buying and selling, and then puts as well. So just very basic stuff. But definitely pop over to my Patreon. I have a free section just all about options and a lot of the different strategies, ranging from beginner all the way to intermediate, advanced, everything that you need to know. So definitely pop over there to take a look. As well, on my Patreon, I do have buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. I did put Lucid as a buy signal on there when it was at $2.30. So there's a hell of a lot more of those types of signals out there. So pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching though.